Hello and all, welcome to the Galaxy Man Show. I'm here with this incredible singer and songwriter known by the name of Duane AJ. So I'm proud to announce Duane AJ onto the live right now. For people that don't know who you are, if you give like a bit
Yeah,
of backstory about yourself and then we'll dive right into the questions.
brilliant, cool. So my name is Duane AJ. I'm a singer-songwriter. I live in the UK in a place called Cornwall. So we are right at the bottom. So I was on the X Factor back in 2006 and made the last 50 in Simon Cowell's boot camp. So since then, I've been on. I've also done Britain's Got Talent, and I also went to Florida, and there was this like spin-off show called the American Idol Experience. So I done that, and I won it. So we got given this golden ticket to actually go and audition for the real show, but unfortunately, because I was British, I wasn't allowed to enter, which is quite typical. um, but yeah, so that's me. I'm now performing my shows all around, the UK and stuff like that.
So we'll dive right into the questions now, Duane. So for my very first question, you've created like incredible original songs. And for the first original song I'm going to mention is It Must Be the Music. Like, what was it like creating this song and what's the meaning behind this song?
Okay, so it must be the music is a little bit of I would say it's a semi cover. So it was originally by Secret Weapon, but Secret Weapon song is like 7 minutes long, and I think it's an 80s song. And I've always liked the song, but I just felt like it could have done with like an upgrade, to be a bit more current and a bit more dancey. So the reason that was the reason behind like recreating the track and then releasing it. So yeah, and like I said, I really like the song, but I just felt like it needed a bit something extra.
So on to my very next question. So you have also created an original song called I'll Never Be Lonely. What was it like creating this one and what's the meaning behind this song?
Okay, so I'll Never Be Lonely is the first ever track in my life that I've wrote. Um, that was the first one. So it was kind of me just playing around with lyrics. There wasn't a lot of meaning to the track at the time. It was kind of what gels and what works sort of thing. My husband also put a little bit of input on that one. So that one's quite nice, because I feel like we kind of created that track together. And now when you look at the track back, it's all about basically, you're not going to let anyone tell you, that you're rubbish or you're not worthy. It's all about being strong in a way, and just if you think what you're doing is really good, or you believe in it, you should keep going with that dream. That's kind of where I was going with that song.
So on to my very next question. So you have also created a song called Limitless Love. What
Yeah.
was it like creating this one and what's the meaning behind this song?
Okay, so Limitless Love was one of my very first ballads. So it's like pop ballad. And I obviously, well, I was probably writing this one. I felt like my album needed a ballad. Um, and I really wanted to do something a bit different with this track, even though when you listen to it, it fits in with the rest of the album because it is got that sort of same sound but slowed down. So it's actually about my husband. It was about meeting him back in the day at school, him meeting somebody else, one of my friends actually, and yeah, not getting to see each other until later on in life, and are finally coming together as one. And now we're married and everything. But that one is definitely Yeah, it's a lot. It's really, I mean, all my album tracks are meaningful, but that one's one of my favorites.
So I just want to say, Dwayne, by the way, you're like all your songs that we've mentioned so far. I just want to say you have such an incredible raw emotion as an artist, like raw emotion as an artist, and you really let your emotions out as a singer, performer, artist. And I really love that about you as a singer and artist. And it just whoever hasn't listened to Duane AJ, definitely go definitely give him the love, support. Uh, as I said, you're amazing, Dwayne, and
Oh, thank you.
as I said, like I saw you on the Meryl Cassie show, and I was like, I have to instantly do an interview with you, and you stood out so much on Meryl's show, and as an artist, you are amazing, and I just wanted to let you know
Thank
that.
you.
So yeah, um,
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's nice to have, it's really nice to have feedback, you know, from your work that I never thought I would have done. I never thought I would have ever written a song, let alone released it, and then an album, you know? So thank you. I really appreciate that.
no, you're all good. So on to my very next question. So you have also created a song called Leaving Me Out of yeah, Leaving Me Out 2020. So what was it like creating this song and what's the meaning behind Leaving Me Out 20?
Okay, so leaving me out. So there's actually two versions of this track available online. So it's Leaving Me Out, which is featured, I think, no, it was a single. Yeah, it was released as a single. And also, so the other one that you were talking about is Leaving Me Out 2.0. So that was another take on the track. There's a bit more of a remix to it. So that track was written by myself and another artist called Kyle Finn, who's also here in the UK. He's another singer-songwriter and he tours around. So we've met up a few times and done some shows together. But this one in particular was kind of his idea. He wanted to write a song about possibly friends of yours that you know might organize things or put you on, you know, like you do in group chats on Facebook, and then sometimes they might forget to add you to that group chat, or they might forget to send you that text. So that song's all about, you know, being left out and basically saying, well, you're the one who's missing out because, you know, we're the ones that bring the party to the, you know, the night out or whatever it is that you're doing. So that one there is, you know, that kind of based off, is a little bit of bullying as well, I suppose, you know. So it kind of touches every sort of angle, I think, with that track. But that was another track that was pretty fun, and like I said, it was good to have another version of it released later. Yeah.
So onto my very next question. So what made you like as a person and especially as an artist to get into the whole singing in the first place? Like what made you just say, "Hey, I want to get into singing"?
Now I always find this a really easy question, because it all, you know, it all starts off from being a child growing up. I would say not a lot of people know what they want to do, you know, but for me, I always knew in my mind I was going to do some kind of performing in some sort of way. I was always in front of the telly, dancing. I was always acting, with films and stuff, you know, reenacting the films. So my mum and dad knew I was definitely going to do something along those lines. So growing up, obviously everything was related to singing or acting, and I think my mum thought I would have gone down the acting sort of route instead of the singing route because my voice wasn't as good as it is now, because as you know, like everything, you've all got to learn to do your trade, and for me I had to vocally learn myself, you know. And it was funny because obviously being a male your voice breaks and you kind of have this really nice angelic voice that kind of disappears and you can no longer sing those songs that you wanted to sing, so you have to train all over again. And I just really wanted to be able to sing. So I just knew I was going to do that, you know? So I can't say to you, I sat down and read music. or anything like that. It was more for me, it's all about listening. So listening to singers, and then obviously copying, that for me was how I learned to get to where I am. So yeah, so basically from the beginning.
So onto that question. So what does performing music like mean to you, like especially as an artist?
I think it's all well and good singing to a camera, it's all well and good singing in a studio, but and I love singing in a studio, I do, but you get a different vibe on stage, and it's definitely the audience, you know. So you're singing, especially since I've been doing my own music, I found performing your own music to an audience for like fresh ears to be the first time ever to hear that song, and then afterwards get like some really good feedback. I think that's you know, it's like award winning on its own. So definitely performing live is so much more rewarding.
So on to my very next question. So what is your all-time favorite cover song to perform and why?
Okay, again, this one is another really easy question for me. So it will always be, and I don't always sing it live. If anything, I haven't done it for a while. Yeah, quite a while. So I've just got so many different songs now you have to do. But my all-time favorite song cover to sing is Because the Night by the Patti Smith Group. So I'm not sure, it's not that well known. I think it's like a 70s, yeah, it's a 70s track. So it's quite old. It's a bit pop rock sort of thing. But the reason I love it so much is because that was the song I sang on the X Factor, that got me through all my through like, you know, the audition process, which was long-winded, 2 days worth of producers and then the judges. So that song always stuck with me, and yeah, I got really good memories from that.
Well, for my very next question, so like if you could work with any top three music artists in the music industry, who would they be and why?
Okay, so can I do like a group as one?
Yeah, yeah.
So my music taste is probably not what everyone would think, as in, you know, these sort of, I don't know, Adele's or Celine Dion's. It's for me, I'm absolutely in love with good old fashioned, you know, pop music. So for me, if I was to get on stage with the Spice Girls as a five piece, I'd be made. I could probably die the next day and be like, yeah, that's that for me. But also, so I would probably like Britney Spears as well, because obviously her music inspires me. But also, so there's two English singers around over here. So one's called Martine McCutcheon. So I don't think you guys will know who that is. And the other one would be Joe O'Mara from S Club.
Okay.
Yeah. Her solo stuff is really good. And both of those artists, they're quite similar. It's like up tempo sort of poppy, slow sort of songs, which is kind of the direction now I want to lead into. I feel like I've done my pop album, but I know where my voice lies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Better. So even though the pop album was fun, I feel like I've done it and I've got it out the system now.
I have to ask, by the way, because you mentioned the Spice Girls first up, who would be your
Yeah.
like favorite Spice Girl?
Okay, well it's Ginger Spice. I love her. I follow her to this day. Like, she was just my favorite growing up. I think it was because she has so much color to her, and she's very out there. I know pretty much all of them are, but I feel like she knew how to push her way to the front. Yeah, and I love her opinions and way of thinking. Not everyone would agree with me, but
So on to my very next question. So if you could go anywhere on tour, like take your music anywhere, any place, any country in the world, where would you want to go to and why?
oh, that's a tough question. I mean, obviously, worldwide would be the dream, obviously. But if I was to pick one, Like, I would say like somewhere like Japan
Okay.
or Tokyo, like like around Tokyo, Japan, or something like that, because I know that they love English sort of pop artists. Um, so they would probably really get it and stuff, because I know that they love all their cheesy sort of music and all. You know, even though, like I said, with my music now, I am tempted. Trying to go in a different direction. So, but with like the pop stuff, definitely over there. I think it would work really well.
So on to my very next question. So to people that want to get into singing, like upcoming artists, so like what advice would you give them and why? And by the way, I have to say, I love how you mentioned you're on X Factor and you auditioned for X Factor and things. My brother's girlfriend at the moment, she's actually auditioned for The Voice and she's in
Oh,
the actual Voice series yet this year in starting in
oh,
February.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
If you have any advice for her, what advice would you give to my brother's girlfriend if possible?
Okay, so how old is she as well? If you don't want to, I suppose
She's
you don't want to
she's
say.
18.
Oh, okay, she's 18, so that would have been around the same sort of age I was
Okay.
when I did it. I was 17. Um, I would say like the best piece of advice is to 100% be yourself, and also you need to kind of in a roundabout way push yourself to the front all the time. You know, try your hardest to stand out. Don't be shy. Be confident, and you'll light up, if that makes sense. You know, she'll get so much more. You want to get as much exposure as you possibly can. Um, don't fade into the background. Just, you know, I did that in boot camp, because I was surrounded at this point now. Like when you do the auditions, you're kind of on your own, and you kind of do the journey by yourself. So you're not really thinking about anyone else. But obviously, when you get to boot camp, it is a competition. So you do need to, not in a negative way, but you kind of need to step over some people to get to the front, because you don't want to blend. Because I think that happened to me. I really blended when I got to boot camp, because there were so many amazing singers, so many big personalities, and they just wash you out, you know. So definitely just be yourself and just focus on what you want, but also put yourself forward.
So on to my very next question. So if now Duane could talk to younger Duane, looking back over your time in the music industry and over your career, what advice would you give to your younger self and why?
That's that's more easier now as I'm older. If you'd asked me that when people used to ask you that when you're not that old, it was harder to answer, obviously.
Yeah.
And I used to think, what does that mean? But no, now it means a lot to me, actually. A lot. I would 100% say start as early as possible and get yourself out there as early as possible. I do think when you're younger, you've got so much more opportunity. Um, and back in the day when I did it, there was so much more opportunity, because it wasn't as online. You had proper auditions to go to, and I just do believe that, you know, if you want to be in a boy band, you want to be in a girl band, or whatever it is you want, auditions was the best way to go. But now with social media, it's so much more harder, because there's less auditions to go to apart from The Voice. I mean, even the X Factor's gone now, isn't it? But there's not. That's what I mean. There isn't a lot around. I don't know if you guys still have. Is it Australia's Got Talent?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's still going here as well. But that one not so much. But I do believe like getting yourself out there, and I mean by putting yourself in front of professionals, is definitely the way to go. But it is so much more harder these days, because they're not around, they're just online, and they kind of find you, I think, you know. But yeah, no, definitely, you know, like I said, I would say start sooner. Sooner the better.
So onto my very next question. So, what are like the positive and negative side into the whole music industry, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
So, I mean, we'll start with the negatives. So, obviously, with probably, music, acting, but, from my own sort of experience, you do get a lot of, people that will put you down, say you're crap, you're rubbish, um, all those sorts of comments. I've probably had all that as well. Do you know what I mean? But it's usually by people that are online, so they're not really the type of people you're not really worried about. The best thing to deal with these people is, yeah, let them have their opinion by all means. But for me personally, don't retaliate to that, because the more you feed them, the more they're just going to give you back. So sometimes it's best just to leave the negative. And let's face it, with the internet these days, it's good to have any feedback because they're helping your algorithms go up. So let them kick off, let them call you rubbish, because it's going to help you because people are commenting. So definitely in this age, I mean, obviously back in the day when it was more personal to your face, it was a lot more harder to deal with. And being a younger person, I think we're all quite sensitive. But I've learned as an adult, it's best just to let them have their opinion. I know what I'm doing. I work every day. So it's their opinion, and you just be graceful about it, and you just say thank you, I really appreciate your opinion, and then leave it. And then that's up to you then if you want to take that on, and if you don't, then you don't. So the positives, that's a positive in itself. That I would say the positives are the way you deal with the negatives. Yeah.
Well, for my very last question, Dwayne. So,
Yeah.
like, what's next for you? Like, anything that you like to announce, like music project or anything, yeah, that's coming out for 2023?
Yeah, so I released, like I said, released my old album and was gonna kind of just leave it, but I had the taste for releasing music and bettering myself all the time. Um, I've had a lot of comments saying, we really liked your pop album, but it does not show off the vocals, which I'm like, yeah, I totally understand. 'Cause upbeat pop is kind of one word, sort of is not as singy. So I've always been told musical theatre is my sort of best thing, to do, which I've been told that by so many people. So I wanted to go down the road of releasing up tempo ballady songs. So I've written a couple. At the moment, I'm in the demo stage, so I'm kind of in and out of the studios, but just doing demos at the moment, just to see what I like, what I don't like, and also this time around, I wanted to add more covers to the album, but obviously reimagined, so they're more my cover, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So my next album, I want to have a mixture of originals and covers, but they're all going to be uplifting sort of songs, and all that show off the vocal. Yeah, so that's kind of the direction I'm going with at the moment. I'm really excited. I've almost got one song ready to go. I have been performing it live, which I have sent to you today. So I'm really excited. I can announce the song. It's called Rainbow's End. It took me quite a while to write this one, because I wanted to take my time and really feel the lyric. So I've had really good feedback from it live. So they've kind of given me the push to get it recorded professionally and then release it.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Dwayne, for taking the time to join my show. It has been such an incredible pleasure having you on the show for tonight as the incredible guest. Everyone, definitely go support Duane AJ and his incredible work. He's an inspiring artist, as you can see on the show tonight. Do you have like any last final thoughts or anything that you'd like to share to people on the show?
Thank you very much for having me, Jacob, on the show. First of all, yeah, please come and follow me, guys, on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and yeah, you can find me under Duane AJ under all those sort of things. And obviously, if you want to download my music, you can do that on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, and all of that business. So yeah.
Dreams will come and go. I wanna hold you close. Come and take my hand. I lead you to a wonderland. Let me heal your soul. This love is precious gold. Those once upon a times are hard to find them on your own. Now every time I see your face, I fall in love again. Take time for me, and I'll take time for you. We are nearly at the rainbow's end. We are more than lovers than just friends. The passion's getting stronger now, soaring above the sky. We are flying high above the moon. The sun will set another day will bloom. When we wish upon a star, my heart will skip a beat. Oh yeah. Dangers left unsold and stories left untold. A house is built with love and dreams. You'll find no place like home. Don't leave me all alone. Your love is all I own. It's better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. Now every time I see your face, I fall in love again. Take time for me, and I'll take time for you. We are living at the rainbow's end. We are more than lovers than just friends. The passion's getting stronger now, soaring above the sky. We are flying high above the moon. The sun will set another day will bloom. When we wish upon a star, my heart will skip a beat. Oh yeah. Nearly at the rainbow's end. More than lovers than just friends. Yeah. Soaring above the sky. We are flying high above the moon. The sun will set another day will bloom. When we wish upon a star, I will love you till the end.